Hey everybody, and welcome back to a new video. So today is currently Christmas Eve, and this year obviously is going to be very different for me because I'm in a whole nother country. So I actually had a whole bunch of different things planned to do, like see parades and light shows and whatever else people do here in Medellin. But upon looking for events and things to do, I came across some information that on the 17th the government noticed that there was a serious spike in the coronavirus cases here in Colombia, and they actually canceled all the festivities, which really sucks. So for Christmas and New Year's, there will be no celebrations, at least no public celebrations, probably just people in their house doing stuff. But I am currently here alone, so I didn't want to just do nothing for Christmas. I wanted to figure out what else I could do for Christmas and make it special. So I came up with a really cool idea that I want to make a traditional Colombian dinner with you guys. So I did my research and I came up with 3 dishes that I want to make with you guys today for Christmas. And I am vegan, mind you, so this will be as vegan-ish friendly as possible, but not perfect. However, I do want to enjoy myself here, and I'm just going to indulge in the Colombian flavors. The first dish I'm going to make is going to be vegan empanadas. I found a recipe online, and I'm going to make them from scratch, so it is going to be interesting, and we'll just see how that goes. But that's going to be the main dish, and the other dishes are going to be these. Now, I've seen this brand on TV of the grandmother or grandma, and I assume that these are really good. The side dish is going to be the Buen Yellows. I cannot say this word. Buen Yellows. I don't know, but yeah, these are going to be a side dish. Before I bought these, I thought actually these were more of a cornbread ball or a corn ball type of thing, because that's what they look like. But after I bought them, I did a little bit more research on how to cook them, and I found out they're actually more of a cheese fritter. So even though I'm vegan, I'm still gonna eat it. It doesn't bother me, at least not today. So we're gonna make some Buen Yellows. I don't know how to say that, but hopefully I'll get it by the end of the video. And the desserts we're gonna make is the natilla, which is going to be the traditional flavor. I do have some raspberries that we are going to put on top of this. So yeah, these look really easy. I think everything is already in the box for the most part. So we're just going to get started first with the empanadas, because those are going to take the most time and probably be the most difficult. So let's just get started. So I'm going to make the filling for the empanadas first, because I would like that to be done by the time I'm making the dough. And I have quite a few things here that I'm going to put in the empanadas. First, we have leftover beans and rice, olive oil. I also got canned mushroom from the grocery store the other day. They were out of fresh mushroom, and that's very common whenever you go to the grocery stores here in Latin America. Sometimes they have what you need one day, and sometimes they don't. So I settled for canned mushroom. Garlic, 2 tomatoes in here, and a red pepper. Salt and cayenne pepper. Cilantro. And I have 2 types of onions. I have purple onion or red onion and a yellow onion. And I'm gonna get started by putting my stove on a high heat. And I'm just gonna add the olive oil first. My dough is going to be quite different, but it shouldn't be too different. I have all vegan ingredients, and mind you, I'm not back home, so I have to use what I could work with. I have a little bit of baking powder in here, and we're going to add this whole bag of flour. So let me just cut that open. Now we're going to add some salt. I think that's enough. Some olive oil. And mind you, I'm just eyeballing this. Now we're just going to mix the water with all the ingredients. The dough is actually turning out really good. I'm very surprised, to be honest. Let me turn the stove off because I think my ingredients are good enough. Cooked well. Alright, so let me just put the dough on this cutting board so I can knead it properly. Okay. Alright. It feels actually a little too moist. Now, let me just use a little bit of this. I feel like that's enough. I thought I had a rolling pin, but I don't. So we're just gonna try and flatten this as best as I can with my hands and spread it out nicely. I could have sworn I had a rolling pin somewhere, but maybe I was mistaken. Okay, so it looks like we spreaded the dough as good as I think I can get it. And now I'm just gonna cut it into little squares and so I'm just spreading out the dough. As you can see, they are smaller over here, and I'm just trying to stretch it out even more on this plate so I know that it'll be a good size for the filling. So I'm just going to fill them and stack them over here, spread them out, fill them and put them over here. Let me attempt. So it's time for me to cook the empanadas. I actually did way better than I thought I was gonna do. I made 5 of them total, and I'm going to fry them in this olive oil skillet right here on high heat. I'm just gonna cook one at a time because I feel like I just want to start slow. And the oil is already hot, so I'm just gonna drop this in there and show you guys it's boiling. Let me get this a little higher. Alright, so you can see the empanada is starting to cook. I'm gonna flip it once I start to see that the edges are turning brown.
Left
going to the Buen Yellows. So let me open the box. I'm not really sure what's included in here. I see from the back it says con queso, which means with cheese. I'm not really sure if there's cheese that I should have bought ahead of time, which I wouldn't have, or if there's some type of cheese powder in the box. But if it doesn't have cheese already in here, yeah, it looks like it's just what it is already. So we're just gonna make it like this. Hopefully it's more like a cornbread of what I'm expecting, because again, I'm vegan, so I'm not gonna buy cheese even though it says buy cheese. And we're just gonna still work it out. So let me open this up. It says mix with water or milk, and I do have a milk right here, a coconut rice milk that I'm going to use. It's like such a weird consistency, and I'm not really sure if I'm just supposed to go in there with my hands right away or what. I'm very concerned. The texture is getting more and more difficult to stir. I'm scared. Oh my god, I'm very scared of like what this is turning into. It's super hard, and I'm just like feeling nothing but lumps and chunks. So I got the dough to the texture I think it needs to be. This stuff is really weird. I tried to form it into a ball, but it like will turn into a liquid if you do not constantly roll it. So we're gonna try and drop it in my hand real quick and show you guys what I mean. All right, so say I'm rolling it, and if I let it sit in my hand for 1 second, it'll turn into a liquid. So this is literally a science project. I've never had anything this texture in my life. I don't know how these people make this, but let's try again. And drop it in there as fast as possible. Oh my god, it's so nerve-wracking. Let me move it over so the other one can pop up. Which is the natilla. It looks really easy. All I need to do is pretty much stir it in a pot with milk. I'm going to again use my coconut rice milk here, and from what I saw, you need to stir it until you see the bottom of the pot. As soon as you see the bottom of the pot, then it is done. So it looks simple enough. And we are just going to first add milk in here. I do want to add some cinnamon because I also saw that cinnamon is very necessary when you are making it, especially traditional style. I don't have any cinnamon sticks, but I have cinnamon powder. And let me add just a little bit more milk. So I'm just gonna let the milk and cinnamon cook for a little bit, get warmed up before I add the powder. And I feel like this probably will be a good amount because there's not too much powder. And the consistency is going to start weird and lumpy, but it will quickly form into a nice smooth texture. I probably used way too much cinnamon, but I don't see that being a problem. And I probably used a pot that was way too big, but I'll be okay. Okay, so actually I think it's done. I believe it is done. They said if you cook it longer than it needs to be, it'll burn. And let me at least turn the stove off so it doesn't get any hotter. I did get a small box, so this isn't going to be a huge serving, which is fine because, again, I'm by myself and this is my first time making it. Let me add just a teeny bit more milk just to loosen it up so I could pour it into a container. Okay, nice, nice, nice. I'm just going to grab one of these plastic containers and pour it in here. Like it is plenty for one person. It doesn't look perfect, but it looks like what I was expecting it to be. So now I'm gonna add this in the refrigerator, put it in there until it's a solid gelatin form, and I'm gonna top it off with raspberries and eat it with you guys. So we're gonna let this sit for probably 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, so my food is finally finished. I let this sit in the refrigerator for quite a long time, but it's still a little mushy at the bottom. It's not all the way a solid form. However, I'm still gonna eat it. I actually heated up some raspberries with honey and mashed them. And that's going to be my topping, and I made my plate. So here I have everything, which is my empanadas. They actually look more cooked than they did when I was over at the stove. They look a little burnt, but it'll be okay. We have the fritters, which are the Buen Yellows. We have those minus cheese. We will see how that tastes. And yeah, so here's my plate. I'm going to start with the empanada, and this empanada looks the least burnt, which is why it's up here. Okay, so this is actually really good. The empanadas are really good. And I'm sure I won't mind the overcooked ones, but I did really good on those. Now I'm going to taste the Buen Yellows. Beyond, cannot say this word. The Buen Yellows. Alright. Okay, so I get why you add cheese, because honestly it's just a dough. Yeah, it's just dough. Slightly sweet, but again, I'm vegan, so there's no way I can find vegan cheese here. So honestly, it was going to be this way or no way. And it still tastes good. However, it's good. And I will be finishing those. And now we are going to taste the natilla with raspberry and let's see, I want more raspberry. Okay, so I really like that. I definitely put too much cinnamon in there, but it is really good. I've never had any custard in my life. And when I saw people eating this, they use their hands, even though mine isn't as solid, like I said, but it's solid enough. I don't know what to compare this to of what we have in the United States. Yeah, we don't have anything like this. We have jello or pudding, and this is giving me like a jello form of a pudding. But the raspberries definitely make it. And I probably didn't even need to mix the honey in the raspberries because the natilla is already really sweet. Even though it does not look pretty, it tastes good. It took me all afternoon, so definitely going to eat this tonight, tomorrow, and the day after. So yeah, I hope y'all thought it was interesting seeing me cook Colombian food for the first time. It was definitely trial and error and scary at times. The food looks a little scary compared to the box of what I was expecting, but the empanadas are good. The Buen Yellows, those are a little bland. I can see if you add cheese how it would taste better, but this is good enough. I'm gonna just add like this cornbread, and the natilla is really good. So I'm really proud of myself for trying new things, and I hope you guys are going to have a really good holiday and a good 2020 ending for your new year. And this is actually really good. It tastes like just sweet fried dough. I might put like syrup on this because I have pancake syrup. I might put pancake syrup on the Buen Yellows. I'm glad you guys could spend Christmas Eve with me. I hope you guys have a really good holiday and stay safe. We are almost done with 2020, and this year just needs to end, honestly. It's a lot of bad shit, and the only good shit that happened was Joe Biden. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Mwah, mwah. Bye.